Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. We're back with the news hour for December 15th, 2025. I think I'm a little too much to the right. Hold on. And in. There we go. So we're almost end of the year. It's kind of crazy. As you can see from our extra life, we have hit the goal. Just got to add $60 to that. It's been a week in terms of things. So I didn't get the chance to transfer Michael's $60 over there. I have to do it by the end of the year, or we won't officially hit 1,000. But that'll probably occur this week. If I forget to transfer the money, I get paid on Wednesday, and I'll just use my own money for it. Hey, Metal Militia, thanks for the sub, 57 months. Welcome back to the Game Vault. Please enjoy your emotes. So I hope everybody is getting ready for the next 2 weeks here. I know people with kids probably a little frantic at this point. We had the Roxy and Dan's Christmas sweater party on Saturday. And unfortunately, I don't think there was a fancy party this year because my friend that usually hosts it had a kid in October, so I don't think they did it this year, or I wasn't invited. Who knows? I only see the guy at the fancy party every year, so it's not like I'm in fantasy football with him or anything to outside of that. So, the ugly sweater party signifies the beginning of Christmas week for me. So, I am excited for it. So hopefully you guys have gotten to play some games, or you're planning to play some games over the break. I have a couple plans. I'll talk about it at the end of what I've been playing. But first off, we'll just start off with Mega Man. For me, we got through, I think it's Dr. Cossack's lab or castle or whatever. He's like been tricked by Mega Man to tricked by Dr. Wily to kill Mega Man. So you have to do 4 levels in his castle before going to Wily's castle. So we finished that off. So tonight, if you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube, we should be through Mega Man 4 by the end of the night. So that means we got 2 more to go. And then I'll be done with all the NES Mega Mans. And then we have to think of something else to do. Maybe I'll find another series or something to have some fun with. I'm having fun with it. I think I'm at this point. I don't think anything's going to turn around my opinion on it. I don't think it's on the level of 2 and 3, and even 1. 1 is just a hard game because it's more arcade like. It has a lot of those, a lot of that DNA in it. So 1, while better than 4, is, a whole different type of game. But 2 and 3, which is what like 4, 5, and 6 and all were based off of, 2 and 3 are superior in every way. But yeah, we'll see. I haven't played 5 and 6 ever. 2, 3, and 4 were the only ones I've ever touched. And 4, I barely played a level. So I shouldn't even count that. But 2 and 3 I had played. 2 I had beaten a whole bunch of times. Might be my 3rd or 4th most beat games. And then, and then 3 I got played just the Robot Masters a couple times. So, but 4, the charge up mechanic, works but doesn't work, and I don't know. I'm just not having as much fun with it as I did with the previous 2. But it's still a solid game. I mean, probably a good solid 7 out of 10 in terms of a game. It's just the last 2 were like 9 out of 10s, and in Mega Man 2's case, I could make an argument for 10 out of 10. But I would probably not do that because I very rarely give out 10s. Oh, we played 6? Oh, okay. Then I have played 6. I completely forgot that we played 6. But yeah, so gonna look forward to seeing that game again. Yeah, but that'll be in about a month or two. So I'll probably even forget that I had played it previously, and I might say I never played it before. But yeah, it's just the new mechanic at it. While charge up is fun and some of the weapons are really good with it, um, I don't I don't know the slide and just the overall improvement from 1 to 2 between those two games. Um, you know, just make it different. But you know, it's not a waste of my time or anything like that. It's not like it dropped off a cliff. It's just a steady decline. Um, Besides that, I played some more Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Um, it's good. Um, the only thing now I must not have been poking around as much on the menu. But the thing I don't like as much as I did with Racing Transformed is that there were a lot of times when you could go do like sort of challenges. Maybe it's deep in a menu there and I'm just missing it because I haven't played a whole lot of it. But I did like those like little challenges that taught you how to drift or things like that to get points. But I think the one frustrating thing is it doesn't seem like early on you can choose who you want to choose. Um, Maybe I'm just bad at it. That could be it. Like I played as Tails and basically won because Tails is like acceleration or speed, and then I unlocked Joker after my doing that, and wanted to play as Joker, but I couldn't. I kept either rubber banding or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't win with Joker. So I hope it's just a skill issue and I'll get better at it and not just a nope, you need to play the speed racers on the first few times through until you get the ability to level up vehicles. But either way, I love the layout of the levels, the nostalgia of some Sega levels and Sega things coming through. So having fun with that. I'm really the only other game that I've gotten a chance to play is I played a bunch of NCAA football. Just because I've only had chunks of time, and I didn't want to be where I didn't want to be in the middle of something and leave. So I played a lot of that. The virtual Tulane Green Wave won another national championship this week. Unlike the real life Tulane Green Wave, Roll Wave, who just got their ass handed to them in the college football playoff. No easy way to sugarcoat that. They did the old-fashioned Notre Dame play of, hey, we came in, we cashed our check, got our ass kicked, and we'll see you next year. Notre Dame did that for 20 years. Get multi-million-dollar checks, get beat by 30 points, and then head on out. But yeah, but anyway, the thing I don't know, I'm scared to go up a level in the game. Now, I went up a level from the beginning. We're getting to that, Goat. Goat mentioned the Jake Paul fight. We'll do that at the end. Because I had it on one level, and I went like 34-0 with Tulane, even before I started recruiting well. And I'm like, I got to bump it up. I bumped it up. I had a team. I had a team that's 99 overall. So they won a lot of the games. They were playing in a shitty conference. So I went 17-0 again and won national championship because I played some teams I was better than. And then the second year on that level, I ran into a team that was just as good as me, luck of the draw, and lost a close game for my first loss as Tulane's coach. And then I went to another season, and I just tore it apart. My guy got like 4,000 rushing yards, and I'm just like, I don't know if that was just because I had a really good thing and I was playing in a shitty conference. And I don't want to bump it up to the second highest level because I don't want to start losing games because I'm not using the passing system correctly. Like, I don't want to get deep into the weeds of learning the simulation side of playing it. So we'll see how this season goes. I moved Tulane into the Big 12 so that I'm not playing against teams whose highest rating is 70. So we'll see how that does for, um, going forward. But I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah. So before we get into what I want to do for the segment before the news, Go brought up one of the best moments of the weekend. Not going to spend much time on this because it's a video game podcast, but there was nothing better than watching fraud of a boxer, Jake Paul, get his jaw broken into many pieces by actual boxer Anthony Joshua. And yeah, that photo needs to stay in the Louvre of him, that final punch. It was glorious. Yeah. Yeah, it's just amazing. As somebody who understands that most of boxing is probably corrupt and is a boxing fan, as myself, add that to the Mark lore. Mark is a boxing fan, but doesn't have HBO Showtime or anything, and catches a match every so often. Didn't watch this, to be honest. Did not pay or did not watch this. Just saw the highlights. Yeah, it's the Fighting City of Philadelphia. Yeah, big time. I really wish as I gotten older, I could have went to, Blue Horizon and just some of the great boxing things before they shut down around here. But I digress. That was fun. And now they're trying to blame it on his height. And if you look through the history of boxing, Mike Tyson beat guys that were 6'5", 6'6". I mean, he's just a bad boxer who was paying people off to lose to him. Until he beats an actual boxer, I will continue to believe he paid off a bunch of people. Yeah, no. You don't gotta respect him for being in there. He chose it. Yeah, he got so cocky. Yeah. Prime example of fuck around and find out. And I loved it. It was amazing. And yeah, good times. There's some photos that came out of his jaw, and I'm just like, chef's kiss. I think the best moment, this is the last thing we'll say about them, we'll move on to what I wanted to do. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but my favorite video of the night about it was, I don't know if it was before the fight or before the final round. Logan Paul, noted shithead as well, started trash talking Anthony Joshua and telling her, yeah, I saw it, Andrew Tate got destroyed as well. A champion kickboxer. I did air quotes for the audio listeners. Logan Paul said, you how do you like this? This is going to end your career. It's going to smudge your legacy. You're going to get beat by, he's going to beat your ass and blah, blah, blah. And then when Joshua does the final punch to knock him out, he walks to the corner and just stares at Logan Paul as he's walking away to the corner. It was such a badass move. I loved it. I'm a huge Joshua fan anyway. So I was hoping that he didn't get paid off, and he did not. From people that I know that watched it, that are sickos and will buy shit like this, it felt like Joshua was just playing with his food before knocking him out. Essentially what they said it felt like. Like, everybody was like, how did he get it to 5-6 rounds? He was like, I think he just wanted him to, yeah. So it's just, Fun times. All right, so what I want to do real quick here, it's not going to be anything special or spectacular. Um, just want to mention some of the games I'm going to be playing over the holiday. Um, we may, or I may just do a recap of the year and just talk about all the games I played and stuff. Not do a top 10 because that's a separate thing we're doing. We might have a written component for that that we'll put up on the Discord. Um, I'll let Jonathan let us know about something he saw and wondered if we do it. He's going to send us the template for it. So we'll get on the Discord or even on the TC10 Discord. But yeah, yeah. So the main thing over the next couple weeks, I think most of my time is going to be like Outer Worlds 2. It's the only game that I have not played yet that I want to continue playing. The I could jump back into Silk Song, but I just want to relax. So maybe we'll do some of that. I still gotta get to the end of what's it called like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Maybe I'll jump in and finally beat the final boss of Tears of the Kingdom now that I'm good at parrying from Expedition 33. Maybe I'll continue playing some of that DLC and see if I can beat some of the super bosses. But yeah, I'm just wondering, and you don't have to mention in the chat here, this is more a call out for people on Blue Sky in our Discord, or if you're in the TC10 Discord. Just like, what are you playing over the break here? Like, what's your when you have some time off, what are you looking to get into? Are you looking to stay? Like, I know Go plays Helldivers and Diablo. Are you looking for something else? Are you going to just keep grinding that stuff out? The entire spectrum. The world is your oyster. This holiday season. So yeah, like off podcast, I'll gather everything I hear and I'll talk about it next week in my wrap up show. But I would love to hear from you guys about that. And then I'll fill in on what my plans are because I'll be off that week. So let you know what I'm thinking of doing. So without further ado, let me just make sure this is lined up correctly. Yes, it is. Let's move on to the news. First up, this story came across. The Wire, like, this was the big controversy of the week. It's about Larian, so I'll read the headline. Holy fuck, guys. We're not replacing artists. Larian's boss responds to AI backlash. CEO Schwen Vinecki clarifies comments that Divinity team is using AI for early ideation. Larian CEO has been forced to respond to the online backlash following confirmation that the studio is using generative AI to explore early game ideas. Speaking to Bloomberg following The Game Awards reveal of Divinity, Vinecki confirmed the studio was using AI to explore ideas, flesh out PowerPoint presentations, develop concept art, and write placeholder text, but insisted that no AI-generated content will make it into the final game and that everyone at the company is more or less okay with the way we're using it. The comments drew criticism from players and former developers on social media, prompting Vinecki to post the following statement of his own. Holy fuck, guys, we're not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI, he wrote. We have a team of 72 artists, of which 23 are concept artists, and we are hiring more. The art they create is original, and I'm very proud of what they do. I was asked explicitly about concept art and our use of generative AI. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that, and they are indeed world-class artists. He continued, we use AI tools to explore references just like we use Google and art books at the very early ideation stages. We use it as a rough outline for composition, which we will replace with original concept art. There is no comparison. We've hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what machines suggest, but they can experiment with these tools to make their lives easier. In a separate statement to IGN, the CEO said, Larian is neither releasing a game with any AI components, nor are we looking at trimming down teams to replace with AI. He added, while I understand it's a subject that invokes a lot of emotion, it's something we are constantly discussing internally through the lens of making everybody's workday better, not worse. Like in most creative industries, generative AI has become a hot topic in video games, with many voicing concerns about generative AI leading to job loss and widespread plagiarism. So essentially, this blew up because, AI is shitty, and I can't wait for the bubble to burst on it, essentially. And a team like Larian, that had a lot of goodwill from Baldur's Gate 3, despite some of the rumors of shitty hiring practices and things like that. Everybody felt a little hurt hearing them talk about using generative AI. Now, I'm not an expert on it, know much in depth about stuff like that. But any kind of use of AI, I feel, does somewhat short circuit the creative process. Because as much as a concept artist we want to say, no, we're just using it in the ideation, and I replace with completely, original stuff later. There's a part of them that I can see something that AI generates and then uses that as inspiration, and then it's not a wholly original thought. And that's sort of where I fall on it, is that you get worried that even with artists trying to make their lives easier, it just doesn't work, because we get influenced by things all the time, and trying to make sure that an artist doesn't get influenced by AI when you're using AI is tough. I think essentially AI should only really be used for like if they want to take like a summary of notes, and here are these notes from a meeting, please put it in, summarized format, stuff like that. Not creating anything, just sort of organizing stuff. That's about as far as I go with AI. But yeah, this is going to be a topic going forward, because there's a lot of companies with bad intentions that want to replace humans with AI, despite what Terminator 2 taught us. So yeah, it's just going to be an ongoing thing. I'm glad he responded to it instead of staying silent. You take it with a grain of salt. He may have meant that they're using it, but then saw the backlash and was like, oh, whoa, and just kind of took a step back from what they were actually doing for it. So yeah, AI, it's really sucks. But moving on to some better news. The next Zelda game could be partially inspired by a recent spin-offs, by a recent spin-off, Hint series boss Anuma. Whew, my throat, I'm sorry. According to Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle, the Legend of Zelda series will celebrate its 40th anniversary next year. Give me goddamn Wind Waker on Switch. The Legend of Zelda producer, Anuma, has hinted that the next Zelda entry could be inspired by elements of Koei Tecmo's action spin-off, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Released for the Switch 2 last month, Age of Imprisonment is the third full entry in the Hyrule Warriors series, which combines the setting of The Legend of Zelda with the gameplay of Koei Tecmo's Dynasty Warrior games. Age of Imprisonment retells historical events from the Zelda timeline, with fast, action-packed, fast-paced hack-and-slash combat, and the ability to switch between multiple characters. In a new interview with Japanese site 4Gamer, Zelda Boss Numa shared some hints on what players can expect from the next game in the series and suggests it might be inspired by elements of Imprisonment. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is the first Zelda title on Nintendo Switch 2. To be honest, we wanted to be the ones to release the first one ourselves. And he laughs. Still, the inspiration we've gained from collaborating with Koei Tecmo, like this, may be reflected in the next Zelda we create. As you play Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, we hope you'll imagine these possibilities and look forward to our Zelda. 2026 will mark the 40th anniversary of the Zelda series. The last mainline Zelda entry, Tears of the Kingdom, was released in 2023, while the last 2D version came out last year. So 2026 will likely be too soon for a new game in the traditional sense. However, Nintendo has several Zelda projects in the works outside of video games, including a live-action movie and a new Lego set. Yeah, so as the staunch Legend of Zelda fan here, I'm curious to see where the next steps are. It's like sort of with Final Fantasy. It's like they need to find, each time they do a new type of game, they need to find the new thing. Like Breath of the Wild being so open world. Tears of the Kingdom with the nuts to bolts type stuff with building things. You know, maybe having some hack and slash moments or making it hack and slash. Maybe that's the next step. I don't know. But they do need to be thinking about what that new thing is. Because one thing they've never done with Zelda is drive a concept into the ground. I think the only time they've revisited, like, sort of a type was when they went to Twilight Princess after Wind Waker because everybody cried about the cell shading in Wind Waker. When that might be one of the best looks Zelda's had since it's come to 3D. But I am a unrepentant Wind Waker fan and defender. So I may just be seeing it differently. But yeah, I want to see something different than just a new look. I want to see them try something new. You know, maybe you try something new like Zelda 2 and it doesn't work. And so you go back. You know, and yeah, I'm interested. I haven't played any of the Dynasty Warrior games or Hyrule Warriors. But, you know, it's cool that maybe they're trying to take an idea from a different genre of the game. All right, next up. The Game Awards claims record-breaking viewership for 11th year. According to Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle, global live streams were up 11% year on year. The 2025 event of the Los Angeles event, geez. Oh, that is just written poorly. Okay, I gotta take a breath. The 2025 event of the Los Angeles event reached an estimated 171 million global live streams of the full broadcast, according to the announcement, which is up 11% over 2024. The 174 million live streams includes YouTube, Twitch, Steam, TikTok Live, X, Kick, Facebook, and Instagram Live, as well as global viewership across China and India. Viewership from Prime Video, which streamed the show for the first time in 2025, is not included in the total. According to Steam stream charts, Twitch, YouTube, and other Western platforms have 4.4 million peak concurrent viewers, which is up 9% from 2024. Authenticated viewer voting for the Game Awards increased over 10% from 2024 to more than 123 million, including the Players' Voice Awards. The Game Awards has been held annually since 2010, produced and hosted by Jeff Keighley, and its viewership has grown every year according to organizers. Yeah, so, I mean, it really is a sort of a divisive thing. I've listened to multiple podcasts, as I do, to just try and stay up on new stuff that I can't find, just so we can have things to talk about. That's not just me reading stories a lot. But I've seen some people that were fine, that loved the show, thought it was great, and then some people that are just like, it's getting worse and worse. And I fall somewhere in the middle. It's very much a good 7.5, 8 show. Like, it really comes down to if you can look past and just understand that there's a little bit of like just ads being bought for like the exclusives and all that stuff, and just the business part of that is happening. And also, if you like the game that's winning all the awards, like I loved Expedition 33. It's going to be my game of the year. Spoilers. And I was fine with it. There's a couple of awards I think we talked about last week that I could have interchanged and could have went one way or the other. But overall, I wasn't upset about them winning. There are some people that are very upset about them winning and think the awards was boring because of it. But they seem to be doing the right things, and I think it needs an award show. I know some people hate award shows. I think you need something just at the end of the year where I see it as just a just letting out a breath, at the end of the year. We've had all these games come out. We've played all these games. Now it's time to just sit back, maybe argue over, a few things when nothing's really going on in December. See some new trailers, hit the halfway point. I like having December and June as the two big times of the year when we hear things, I just hope in the future they're better curation and don't end with a game like High Guard, which just looks like a hero shooter. I saw nothing from the trailer nor the press release that made me know why it was the last thing on the Game Awards outside of money. So hopefully they have better curation on that stuff. But it seems to be popular, and I think we need it. It also just a matter of how you feel about Game Awards shows, or just award shows in general. There are a lot of things like people were saying, well, if you knew Expedition 33 was going to win all these awards, why don't you give the other ones a chance at other awards? I'm like, because they're not participation trophies, man. I think the only ones going up against Expedition 33 that had a chance of beating it are games that were also nominated for Game of the Year. Like, could you have given Best RPG the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Yes. And it would have made the end more suspenseful. Could you have given Best Narrative to Death Stranding 2? Even though I don't think no narrative was better than Expedition 33. Yes, and it would have made the end better. Could you have given something else to Silksong? Sure. But then it just seems like you're cheating a bit to make the show more suspenseful. But, yeah. It's good to see that it is popular and probably is not going anywhere anytime soon. Next up, Nintendo will offer an alternative to Switch 2's controversial game key cards, Dev claims. According again to Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle, they claim it is now skipping game key cards thanks to the new smaller cartridge option. Nintendo is reportedly introducing smaller size options for Nintendo 2 Switch physical games, which could potentially reduce the number of games that opt to release on the controversial game key card. Game key cards have attracted criticism since Switch 2 launched, because they contain only a digital activation key for game titles, rather than any game data. So for the vast majority of third-party Switch 2 games are game key cards, with only a few exceptions, reportedly because only one card size is available to developers, 64 gigabytes. However, this could soon change. Twitter account Does It Play claimed earlier this week that Nintendo is planning to introduce two new card options for developers, 16 gigabyte and 32 gigabyte, potentially offering cheaper options for physical releases. This was seemingly corroborated by developer INN, which announced on social media that its upcoming R-Type title would now ship with the whole game on Switch 2 cart after Nintendo announced two new smaller Switch sizes for Nintendo Switch 2. So this is a great development in this, in that I know Tom and myself too. All my Switch games are when they were available on cartridge, I got them on cartridge. Um, and so I didn't want to have to go all digital if I got a Switch 2. Um, so it's good to see that the option is becoming available. Will what happen? Who knows? Because games are huge and they don't make cartridges that big in a lot of cases. So, we'll have to deal with the cloud and downloads and all that stuff. But at least this seems like Nintendo is understanding that there are people that like the hardware, the actual cartridge. So, you know, good news on that end. Nintendo usually doesn't listen to anything. Next up, some fun news. A 98% complete version of the canceled Game Boy Color Resident Evil port has been shared online by Chris Scullion of Video Games Chronicle. The near-ready Impossible port may be complete enough to play through the entire game. In 1999, London-based studio Hot Gen was given the intimidating task of porting the PS1 and Saturn game to Nintendo's handheld, somehow turning a 32-bit console game that came on 2 CDs into an 8-bit handheld game on a 2 megabit cartridge. Despite appearing impossible, Hot Gen managed an impressive job of downgrading Resident Evil for the Game Boy Color, and the game was actually nearing completion when it was canceled in mid-2000. Work-in-progress versions of the Impossible Game Boy Color Resident Evil have been doing the rounds online ever since. Prototype ROMs were shared in 2011. But even the most complete of these was in enough of an unfinished state that players could not reach the end. Now Games That Weren't has preserved and shared a build of the game in its most complete state possible, taken at the point it was canceled, and it believed this version may finally be playable from start to finish. Assistant programmer Pete Firth, who provided the new build, believes this newly shared version is 98% complete because he recalls a lot of the communication between the development team and QA testers before it was canceled, implying that the project was nearly finished. As Firth remembers it, the team at Hot Gen were told the game had been canceled because the original creator of Resident Evil didn't believe the Game Boy Color was worthy of the game and ordered that it be canceled. It is not known whether this refers to the game's director, Shinji Mikami, or producer Takuro Fujiwara, who originally conceived the idea of remaking his NES survival horror game Sweet Home. So there's some video of this if you want to go look it up. It's pretty interesting to see what a Resident Evil game on the Game Boy Color would have looked like. I'm leaving a still up there now of the entrance to the mansion. I love these history stories of what could have been. This game would have been awful, but the fact that it wasn't released makes it desirable to play. So if you can find a working copy of it out there, give it a shot. Next up, Silksong is getting a free DLC expansion, and Switch 2 version of Hollow Knight is in development. Chris Scullion again for Video Games Chronicle. Silksong's Sea of Sorrows expansion will be released next year. The DLC, which will be called Sea of Sorrows, will be available in 2026 according to developer Team Cherry, and will have a nautical theme. The studio promises Sea of Sorrow will feature new areas, bosses, tools, and more, adding Hornet's Adventure Continues and our nautically themed expansion coming free for all players next year. Team Cherry also revealed that a Switch 2 edition of the first Hollow Knight is currently in development, offering high frame rate mode, higher resolutions, and many additional graphical effects, much like the difference between Switch and Switch 2 versions of Silksong. Players who already own the Switch version of Hollow Knight, which released in 2026, will be able to download the Switch 2 update for free when it releases in 2026. So some interesting news for those of you Hollow Knight and Silksong fans out there. You're getting 2 possible things next year. Definitely getting that DLC, and then if you want to upgrade your Hollow Knight experience to Switch 2, you can go ahead and do that for free. Some some good news at the end of the year. A lot of these games that were top game of the years announcing some DLC stuff. So, um, yeah, check that out if you are interested in Team Cherry stuff. Next up, FIFA officially announces a new game with Netflix and little-known studio, Andy Robinson from Video Games Chronicle. The FIFA game will stream to televisions with mobile phones used as controllers, according to an announcement. The game will be playable offline and online. In 2023, FIFA split from its partner EA after nearly 30 years, with FIFA 23 being the last EA Sports game to feature the FIFA branding before renaming to EA Sports FC. FIFA president Gianni Infantino has long been on the record that the body plans to launch a rival game with a new partner, and now it appears to have found one in streaming giant Netflix. The new FIFA is in development at little-known California-based studio Delphi Interactive. The studio has not released any games of its own previously, but it was involved in IO Interactive's upcoming 007 First Light. The new FIFA game will release next summer, according to an announcement, in time for the FIFA World Cup in North America. FIFA President Infantino said this major collaboration is a key milestone in FIFA's commitment to innovation in the football gaming space, which aspires to reach billions of football fans of all ages everywhere in the world and will be redefining the pure notion of simulation games. Our reimagined game truly marks the beginning of a new era of digital football. It will be available for free to Netflix members and is a great historic step for FIFA. So what this sounds like is this going to be a shitty soccer game that you can play with your phone on Netflix if you have Netflix. I don't know how this works if you have the ad version of Netflix. Does it interrupt the middle of your game to show an ad at some point? This game's going to be awful. I would be shocked and do that old saying, I would eat my hat if this game is any good. It just seems like Netflix threw FIFA a bunch of money because of the World Cup in the summer and is hoping to, get some back with advertising in the game. So, but it's still interesting that FIFA couldn't find anybody to make a traditional soccer game, so they had to go this route because nobody really wants to deal with FIFA. I'll eat my socks. Yes, we will eat various articles of clothing if this soccer game is any good. And finally, from Jordan Midler on Video Games Chronicle, we wish it went a little bit faster. Todd Howard provides an update on the Elder Scrolls 6 development. The Elder Scrolls 6 was announced at E3 2018. The Elder Scrolls 6 was announced at E3 2018 with a brief teaser trailer, which confirmed it was in pre-production at Bethesda Game Studios. Nothing has been seen of the game since. However, as part of an upcoming retrospective on the Fallout series, some of the senior developers on the project have provided a brief update. Speaking to Game Informer, Howard admitted that while the studio wishes the process would move along faster, they're committed to getting it right. It's progressing really well, Howard said. The majority of studios on 6, but I'll say this, we always overlap. So we're very used to overlapping development, and we have a long pre-production on things so that we feel good about them, and it's a process. We all wish it went a little bit faster or a lot faster, but it's a process that we want to get right. In the same article, studio director Angela Browder joked that, as the internet likes to tell us, it's been a while. The industry and the hardware and all of this have made such huge leaps and bounds since the last time we made one of these. I'm actively excited about what's in front of us because the opportunities, the hardware, the rendering, all of that stuff is just, the possibilities are crazy. I will be honest, for me, sometimes I see things that are happening and I go, Angela from Skyrim days could never have envisioned seeing this like this now. And that is a cool thing to be a part of. And it's a thing that I hope that when the day comes that our fans play it, that they, especially those of them who have been lifers with our brands, can really see how far it's come. You can see that right now. You load up the original Oblivion and you load up the remaster of Oblivion and you can see how far it's all come. So to me, The Elder Scrolls 6 is this endless set of possibilities that is really, really exciting as a developer, but really, really exciting as someone who really likes to think about how far everything has come in our industry. It's going to be dope. It's dope. Um, so, yeah. Uh, I would be. I'm not going to need articles of clothing. I would be shocked if we get this game before 2030. Absolutely shocked. Um, Now I'm not as strong on that as I am the FIFA game being awful, but the fact that we haven't seen anything, and it normally takes 3 to 4 years for Bethesda to develop anything. 2030 seems, yeah, and that would be 12 years since they announced this. So the only way I can see it coming out before 2030 would be if we see something in June. If we see something in June, even a vertical slice, I'd be like, all right, they're only like 3 years away. But yeah, I'm not until I see something. 2030 is when I'm expecting this. So, yeah, so that will do it. All right, and I think Goat is fairly confident he will eat the entire back seat of his car if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out before 2030. Yeah, just some great predictions we made at the end on a slow news week. So thank you all for joining me. We're going to be live tonight with Mega Man 4. I'm hopefully beating it. Depending on how far I get, we'll push until I'm done it. If it takes me a while to get through the first 2 bosses, we'll cut it in half. If not, we'll just finish it. And then there's probably going to be a bunch of streams coming up. We have Christmas, but I'll be back on Saturday with the Master Sword any percent runs. Master Sword percent runs. I don't know when we're going to get the Phantom Liberty. Probably, maybe we'll do that as something special on like a Friday or leading up to New Year's or something like that. Yeah, I thought I was going to do it yesterday. Oh yeah, I got to play MC Kids for sure as well. I mean, I'm just thinking of things I'm going to play on the air. So yeah. And then I got to get the list together for Game of the Year. So yeah, just keep an eye out. I have a whole week off. I may decide to stream for a long time one of those days. I'm not as stressed out as I was last year during my vacation. So, yeah. And that'll do it. If I don't talk to you guys, have a good, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year if you're not here next week. Also, have a great happy Honda days. Happy Toyotathon. Happy Lexus December to remember. Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate this time of year. We hope it was a good one. It has been fun as always. I'm going to probably head back and maybe play some more NCAA, maybe play some more Sonic before I go to bed. But yeah, you guys have a good night, and we will definitely see you next time. Bye!